Summer of '84 is the 2018 coming-of-age horror movie, and it's set in a small suburb of 1984 about a group of kids who suspect that one of their friends' neighbours is a killer, and the neighbour just happens to be a police officer. At the beginning of the movie, we find out there's kids going missing and kids being killed and bodies showing up around about the suburb that the boys live in. And one of the boys in particular loves the whole Inquisitor and aliens, UFOs, all of those things, and he believes in quite a lot of things. So anytime he comes to his friends or his family members about something that could be happening, they don't really believe him, and rightly so, because most of the time it's just hearsay. But this time he's right, there is a killer on the loose in the suburbs, but we're trying to find out who that killer is, and he suspects that the killer happens to be the neighbour next door. Now the movie plays out like a long episode of Stranger Things. It does have that Stranger Things feel to it, and it's set in 1984 as well, so we see a lot of similarities between that movie and Stranger Things. And also it's got a group of boys, a group of kids are coming of age, so it's got that 80s feel to it, because a lot of 80s movies were revolving around kids like that who are just going on a journey and an adventure, and that's Summer of '84 in a nutshell. Now I won't spoil anything for you guys, and I won't say who the killer actually was in the film, but there was a few times in this film where I thought, oh, this person could be the killer. Oh, in fact, this person's probably going to be the killer, so where's this person been all that time? So there's a few ups and downs and twists and turns throughout the movie, and ultimately it has got a good payoff. Now I do remember watching this film thinking, my son could watch this because he loves that kind of movie. And all the way through I was thinking, yep, he can watch this. I tend to watch the horror movie first to see if my son can watch it. He's only 7. And I was watching this film thinking, well, there's a few sweary scenes in this, but it's not too bad. And then what seems to be the end of the movie, I thought, yeah, I'm going to let my son watch this. But then there was a next part after what we thought was the end of the film, with a big, not a big twist, but a big shock factor. And because of that ending in that scene, I thought, my son can't watch this film anymore, so he's not going to watch it. But for those of you who have not seen it, you're in for a good ride all the way through it. It's a slow burner, just like all the other kids' 80s horror movies, or the 80s style horror movies. But at the end of it, it's a great payoff, and you absolutely love the ending of this film. It's, like I said, it's a slow burner all the way through it, and it picks up the pace near the end. But then the very end sequence, that's when it just gets to that top level. I think the acting in this film was pretty good. There was an actor called Judah Lewis. He's also in The Babysitter as well. He was a standout performance for me in this film. I think he's going to go quite far in Hollywood. He seems to be in these sort of horror comedies, and he just gets the right role every time. But not just him, everybody else in this film was good. The kids, especially the teenagers, they're really good in this film, and I think that helps movies like this, because it is a teen-centric movie. It centres around these kids, the 4 main characters, so the 4 of them have to be good, and I think that all 4 of them were good in different ways. You can get these movies that try to replicate the 80s horror movies with the kids in them, and it just doesn't work. There's a few out there, but this one gets it right. Not only is the story interesting, the actors are good, and the character development is good in this film as well. And also the killer, who we don't know who it is yet, but the killer around us, and it's good the way that they show how it happens. Again, I can't really say much without spoiling anything, but it's good the way they do it, and ultimately the end is a great payoff. I think what makes this film more interesting for me and for people my age is the kids in this film seem to do things that we used to do as kids. So even though we're adults watching this film, we're enjoying it because it takes us back to the late 80s, the 90s, or whatever you do when you're a kid. These kids do that. They get up to mischief, they hide around houses, bushes, they've got their torches out at night, and they're all just having a good time. And that's what I used to do as a kid as well. So not only are you enjoying the story, you're enjoying things that they do in the film that you used to do as a kid, and it takes you back. It must have been well over a year ago that I first seen some sort of advertising for Summer of '84. I know they were trying to get it out into festivals and stuff, but I seen a poster, there's a milk carton with missing on it, and I thought that sounds pretty interesting. So I kept tabs on the movie, eventually got a trailer for it, and I thought the trailer blew me away. And I think that the trailer lived up to the movie. The trailer didn't give much away. just gave us a glimpse of what the movie's going to be about and the quality of the film, and I think that was great. The end product was fantastic, so I'm glad I kept tabs on this movie all this time. It felt like ages for it to come out. It's eventually out now. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, guys, you need to check it out. It's well worth watching. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching again. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Even serial killers live next door to somebody.